Erica and Sharon are sisters who began their grief journey in 2006 when Erica's 10-year-old son Austin drowned. Together, they participated in a grief education program, were so moved by this experience, they studied and became specialists so they could help the brokenhearted find recovery. In 2015, tragedy struck their family once again when Erica's oldest son Donovan was killed in a motorcycle accident. Erica and Sharon are committed to sharing their experiences of love, loss, and healing through this podcast. Now your grief specialists, Sharon and Erica.
Hey guys, hey friends, Sharon Brubaker here with Healing Starts with the Heart, where it's all about you, the griever, and your broken heart. I have an amazing guest here today. This is David Kesey with Find a Way Agent. David is a coach also, and he's my personal coach. But he and I have been talking recently about why men don't get the help they so deserve and they so need. I have a theory about it, and I think it's because we were taught, little boys, even at a very young age, big boys don't cry.
Yeah.
And I think because of the pressure that society puts on us, we don't go for that. I'm a grief specialist, and David and I are going to talk today about men and getting the well-deserved help.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all. Thanks for having me on.
Yay, David! So, David, do you find that you coach a lot of men, or do you find that the women are more open to it? What do you find?
You know, I find that men usually, inside of our coaching program, mostly we work with real estate agents in the real estate space and lenders and that kind of thing, but we also work with, obviously, people who are not real estate agents, right, like yourself. But I think that, I think a lot of men join the coaching because I think in today's society, I think men are getting lost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like they had to be told it was okay.
Yeah.
I share this about you all the time, like, oh, David, you gave me permission.
Yeah.
But sometimes I find that they're resistant, but here's the other thing I get. I find that when men do the coaching, or they come for the grief help, or they do a coaching program, they get it.
Oh, yeah.
They get it 100% and they dive in.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're resistant to even going to that point.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is like in society, it's like you're not allowed to have feelings.
Right.
You're not allowed to work through that. You're not allowed to be vulnerable and say, I don't know how to do this. You're supposed to just know. You're supposed to go out and hunt. That's what you're supposed to do. You go hunt and shut up. It doesn't matter how you feel. Go do what you're supposed to do.
You go do what you're supposed to do.
Once they have somebody like you or me, and it's like, okay, I can actually talk to you about some of the things that really bother me.
Yeah.
That's why they get it. They're like, oh, I can actually talk about this stuff. So it's like a relief.
Okay, so just stepping back, you said something right there, and I think that's huge, and I think our friends need to understand that men aren't allowed to have feelings. They were told they couldn't have it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And so they don't go there.
Man up.
Right, man up. They're supposed to know the answers.
Yeah, that's right.
How is it they're supposed to know the answers?
I don't know.
Did they not get the manual?
Yeah, I don't know. And then, inside of that, even inside of marriage and relationship, like the man is supposed to not have those feelings like that. And maybe that's because, I don't know, maybe decades ago, that is kind of how the man will do. Like, don't show your feelings, get out there, grind, make it work anyway.
Yeah.
And now we've just, it's kind of become part of society.
Yeah. But it stops us. It stops us from moving forward, right?
Very much, yeah.
And it is a grieving experience. I don't care what you want to call it. It is absolutely a grieving experience. So let's say I'm in a marriage. The marriage is not going well. My communication is crap, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I pull back, and now I'm not functioning at work. I'm not functioning in life.
You isolate.
And you isolate 100%. And then I'm told, don't go get the help.
Yeah, that's right.
Figure it out.
Figure it out.
Look in the manual,
yeah, that's right? Yep.
How does that affect a man?
Well, I think it makes a man feel alone in today's society. It makes them feel like, where do you even go?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you've helped me through a lot of my grieving and all that kind of stuff. It was like, I had to go, it's tough to find somebody that would actually be like, hey, I know how to help you with this.
Yes.
Right? What you do is just so rare. So like anybody who is especially like men, if men are having a hard time grieving, one of the things that you did for me is you gave me the space to actually explore these feelings. But what I find is this, from my experience as a man, there's like the trifecta of insanity.
Right.
You've got a full-blown long-term committed relationship,
yes,
kids, and a business.
Yeah.
You literally can't have more stress than that.
Yeah.
And then what happens is we think that the grieving is only in, when somebody dies or
Yeah.
something like that. But inside your business, like if your business starts tanking, that's your baby.
Yeah.
When it starts tanking, there's a grieving process there. There's
Yes.
a grieving inside the relationship. There's a grieving inside maybe with your kids. And you feel alone. You feel isolated. You feel like you're in a prison.
That is such a great description. I want to thank you for sharing that. But also the pressure of trying to keep that going.
Oh, yeah.
What about the pressure of just trying to keep that going? Of every day as a man, just trying to keep the balls up in the air.
Yeah,
right?
and keep it going and keep it going and keep it going. And I think that, innately, I think men have that I want to provide mentality.
Right.
So they take a lot of responsibility for that. Now, I want to be really clear about something. When we say men, we don't mean like all men, right?
Yes,
Because there's some men that don't, right? They get in a relationship, they're like, girlfriend, it's all on you.
Yeah.
And that's their thing. And that doesn't make them right, wrong, or indifferent, but I
Right.
still think there's even a grieving inside of that.
Yes.
So I just think that it's not normal place for a man to work through his feelings and all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But some guys are different. I agree with that. Some guys are different. But when they get it, they go to that deep space. I want to ask you something. In your coaching, do you go there with the emotion of what it
Oh,
is?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I knew it, but I had to ask
Oh, yeah.
it.
Yeah, for sure. And men,
Do you see them getting uncomfortable, though, when you start talking feelings?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll go there. I call
Yeah.
it the pain pocket.
Oh,
I will
love
go to
that.
the pain pocket because one of the things you taught me was I can't resolve this pain,
Yeah.
this beach ball, if you will,
Yeah.
Until I acknowledge it, dive into it,
Yes.
and deflate it. Otherwise, I'm just holding the beach balls under the, like you
Under
told me,
the
the beach
water.
ball under the water, and they come shooting up.
Yeah.
And now you're inside your business, and you're talking to a client, and you're like, what? Oh, and they get all like crazy because men, they express, I've experienced, they express grieving differently.
Yes.
Right? They don't necessarily cry. They might snap at their spouse.
Yeah.
And they don't mean to, or
Yeah.
they might go out and hit a punching bag or something like that.
Yeah.
And what I find is it's like that teapot you were talking about.
Yes.
A man will sit there and push it down until one day it just, boom, it just comes out.
Yeah.
Where if those beach balls would have been resolved, it would have been, that would have never happened. And actually it'll create more productivity, more performance, more happiness, all that kind of stuff.
100%.
Yeah.
They have to see it. Let me ask you this, because I already know the answer for myself, but don't you think women, I want to know your thought on this. I find a man that's done his own personal work much more sexier, much more stronger, much more put together. When they've looked at the 4 pillars of everything that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I don't teach 4 pillars, I just said that. But
Yeah.
when they look at strength, emotion, and having to keep the family together, don't you think that, I mean, what is your take on that? That women find that, wow.
Yeah, I think that there's a certain part of confidence that arises
Yeah.
from that.
Yeah.
You can't hurt me, as
Yeah.
David Goggins said.
Yeah.
I've been through enough and I've worked through my stuff
Right.
that there's nothing there.
Yeah.
There's nothing to be attacked.
Right.
And I think, honestly, one of the things that causes a lot of grieving for men is women, but I don't think women are the cause.
Right.
I think men and their desperation for women
Right.
is what causes it, right? So one of the things that I always talk about is chase excellence
Yeah.
within yourself.
Yeah.
Don't chase women.
Yeah.
The right woman will show up
Yeah.
if you'll just work on you and chase
Right.
excellence.
Wow.
So I think that has a lot to do with it. I think that a man who has emotionally worked through his stuff, who has accepted the things that he needs to work on mentally, spiritually, physically, all of that, who is
Right.
basically owned, they've taken ownership.
Yeah.
I would think that there's a certain attractiveness to that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. What would you say to the man that's out there that's not sure this is for him or absolutely getting some help, but they know that they're miserable? How do you talk to them?
I talk to them like this. Either you make it a must for you, or life will do it for you.
Yeah.
So for me, I mean, there's things, for any of my brothers listening to this, there's things that'll happen inside your life that will punch you in the face.
Oh, yeah.
and you don't see it coming.
Yeah.
Bam, and you get hit, and there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Right? Like, where do you go for that? Like, I think the masculinity movement is just starting.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot wrong with it, and I think there's a lot right with it.
Yeah.
I think the intention of it is really amazing, but I think some of them, like, you have these pickup artist groups and stuff like that, and I'm like, that doesn't solve anything.
Right.
You getting some scripts on how to pick up girls doesn't do anything. All
Right.
it does is put a mask over what is already